Let's take a look at some pry bar tools. Today, we're taking a look at my top 5 favorite pry tools. Now, if you've spent any time looking at the everyday carry world of Instagram, you know that pry bar tools are fairly popular items. They're certainly functional and have practical uses, but in my estimation, a lot of what makes pry bars appealing is their aesthetic. So how they look and how they feel can be just as important, at least for some, as their utility. So as I go through each of these tools, I'll be grading them on 3 criteria: aesthetics, how it looks, how it feels; utility, how it functions; and materials. I'll then be assigning a low, medium, or high rating to each criteria. Now, I originally thought I was going to do like a top 10 video, but it was just too long and too tedious. So I pulled out my top 5 favorite for the purpose of this video, which is why most of these I rate quite high. Okay, let's get into it. This is the Pena Knives Titanium Pry Bar. It's very well made. It's a little limited in features, but it has a pry bar and a bottle opener that work very well. You don't get a ton of leverage on the bottle opener because its position is pretty close to center, but it still works just fine. It's also got a bit driver on the tapered end, along with sort of a flathead screwdriver slash mini pry bar. It comes in at about $45, and I'm giving the aesthetic a high rating, utility a medium rating, and materials a high rating. Next up is the Fulcrum by Vero Engineering. It is a very satisfying tool to have in your hands. It looks awesome, it feels awesome, and you can just tell that it's constructed very well. It comes in multiple colors and sizes. This, for example, is the Fulcrum Mini. Its prominent features are a pry bar tool on one end, and on the other end is a bit driver, which will fit Phillips heads, flatheads, or micro bits, which in turn can be stored within the body of the tool. It comes in at around $100. I give the Fulcrum a rating of high for aesthetic, high for utility, and high for materials. Next is the Hexbar by the Matsey. And truth be told, I haven't used it a whole lot yet. In addition to the pry bar in the front here, you've got a bit driver and then a bottle opener on the backside. It is a solid chunk of metal, but one thing I worry about with the Hexbar is the edges. They're a little thin and seem chippable. Now, nothing has happened so far, but it's just kind of a worry of mine for the future. It's a beast of a pry tool, the design is cool, and it's made from titanium. And the cost is $90. I'm giving a high rating to aesthetic, a medium rating to utility, and medium rating to the materials. Next is Glow Rhino's Tritium Pry Bar. It's one of the newer pry bar tools that I've acquired, and like the Pena tool, it's a little limited in features, but I like that it doesn't try to be too much. The tool includes a small pry bar, and it works pretty dang well as a flathead screwdriver and a box opener as well. You've also got a bottle opener here. It's made from titanium, and it has Glow Rhino's distinctive tritium inlay, which emits very low levels of radiation and glows in the dark. This pry bar comes in at about $50, and I rate aesthetic high, utility medium, and materials high. And for the last one of the day is the Slidekick by Novel Carry. I recently did a 2-minute EDC video review of this tool a while ago. I'm a big fan of this tool. There's a lot to it. You've got your pry bar on one end, which also works well as a flathead screwdriver or a box opener. You've got your bottle opener. You've got an imperial and metric rulers on either side of the tool. Underneath the tool, you have a clip. On the end of the tool, you've got a bit driver, and then you have a place to store all said bits inside the tool of itself. It's made from titanium and will cost you about $100. And normally, I might think that a tool like this tries to do too much, but it just works. Aesthetic, I'm rating high. Utility, I rate high. And materials, I rate high as well. Okay, that's a wrap for today. What pry bars do you carry? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.